Greetings and welcome to another edition, and this one is going to be the last of the sort of really sort of slightly snide blatant copies of a Rolex, albeit with the Seiko movements, etc. Again, this is a personal one for me. I've always loved the old Explorer with the the orange hour hand, where the arrow doesn't reach the end of the hand. So that was the kind of Paul Newman one from a film about Watergate. So what we have is, most importantly actually, an NH34 movement, which is the GMT movement, the Seiko GMT movement. We've got a quite obviously Rolexy case. I've taken the back off already. We've got a black dial, Seiko dial, GMT dial, in the Rolex Explorer style. We've got the hands as per a Rolex of the era. However, I put some other hands out just to have a think about whether I actually wanted to go the full homage, or whether I wanted to do something that was a little bit more obviously a Seiko than a sort of snidey Rolex. But we'll have a think about that as we carry on with the build. I'm not too sure which one I want to do yet. In terms of process, the build is going to be put the face onto the movement, the hands onto the face, and then we will cut the stem, and then we'll put it all together and put a strap on. I think I'm probably going to go with either a rubber strap or another military strap for this one, but I'm not quite sure yet. We'll have a little look. We'll offer a few things up and see what we think. So, as is standard for Seikos, the Seiko movements of this type anyway, the little receivers for the lugs for the dial within the movement case are set at sort of 7:10, and when you turn these dials over, you'll see that there are sets of lugs on, which allow you to position either a 4 o'clock or a 3 o'clock date, and that really comes down to which of the 3 lugs on each side that you cut off. So obviously we want to cut off, in both cases, the 2 sets that are closest together. So, and they'll be at 3 and 9 on the dial. Thankfully we've got a window on here so we can see. The autofocus is just playing tricks a bit here, isn't it? But whether it's to do with the light today. It's quite a hazy day outside. It's the first day of summer, I'd say. We're just lurking in May, but I'm going to get the old snipperoos and get these lugs that we don't want off, and then I'm going to file them down. You've seen me filing them down 100 times before, so I don't know whether I'm going to inflict that pain on you, but you can definitely watch the lugs coming off. I just want to make sure I'm 1, 2. There you go, you can hear them flying around the room. I'll get the broom out later and sort them out. I'm just going to put this down on the desk. Somewhere near the edge actually is easier when we're filing, so down there by the edge of the desk. See my nasty knees if you're not careful. So I'll put you back here and I'll just get on with the filing, and we'll come back and we'll bob the dial on in a sec. There we go. It didn't need a great deal. Used my triangular file for that one on the corner of the desk. Left a few marks on the back, which is inevitable when you're doing that particular job. But it's all nice and flush now, so that's ready to pop on at 3 o'clock. And I'll just give it a wiggle and hopefully it'll slot straight in. Oh yes, that's very nice. We'll give that a clean obviously a bit later on. I'm going to try and put my face protector on now, but the you know, there's an extra spindle, and it's quite wide actually, that the one for the second hour hand. I might have to put that extra hour hand on before I even put the protector on. The protector might have to go over that particular hand, which I'm messing about with trying to pick up as I speak to you. So I think actually it's important at this stage to, probably less important for the GMT hand, but certainly for all of the other hands, it's obviously important just to wind ourselves around and find 12 o'clock on a date change before we start. So that is what we're going to do. So I'm just going to keep turning this as if the hands were turning, and at some point the date will flick over. Boom. And that is 12 o'clock, midnight. Now we can start putting the hands on. Okay. So I'll get my non-metal tweezers. These ones are plastic Bakelite-y things. Oh dear, really didn't want to do that. So I'm going to pick it up with Rodico. Yeah, it really does go over that. I don't know if I've even got a pusher that's wide enough to deal with that. Just check that very point out. There's one we made earlier, specifically for the job. I just need to find the arm that it goes on. Bear with me 1 second. There it is. Let's see if we can push this little hour hand on. As I said, the hour hand shouldn't matter actually in terms of its position, because it's settable independently of the time. I'd say that's about right. The only thing is it looks a little bit looks as if it's like quite a long way below the there we go. That's it, pushed on nicely, I'd say. Yeah. Probably just lower it a bit as well. Okay. So this is a learning curve, this whole sort of GMT thing. So I'm maybe going to lift it out and just see if we can turn the GMT hand. So we're 12 o'clock on the hour hand, so if we push in 1, I'm assuming, oh no, well, I've probably pushed everything in there. That's going to be the, right, so that is the 2. 3, 4, 5. So it does need aligning correctly. At least to a single marker. It doesn't necessarily have to be 12. So I've learned something already there. I'm going to end up putting the bag on it and getting the hand remover underneath it now, just so as we can reset that again. So I'll go off and get the hand remover and pop it in a bag, and then we'll start again. So the hand remover is in hand. There's a bit of stuff to go over it, and then I just want to make sure that I'm not over the writing when I kind of pull this off. Okay, that's done. We'll realign it now, and we'll realign it to a particular spot. Oh, wunderbar. Okay, so it only needs to be on an hour. Doesn't need to be on a particular hour. Just needs to be on an hour, and then we want to push that on, and we want to push it on so it's really accurately on an hour. Oh, yeah, little swine. Typically that's not just as easy as all that. I don't want it to be anything other than absolutely superb, this. Oh yeah, I'm the one that's going to be wearing it. Okay, that's well lined up. My biggest problem is that, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Is that the pusher's homemade in terms of I've widened it with I've drilled it, and then I've cut it off at the bottom, and it's not quite as dead flat as it could be, and with the consequence, obviously, that I think that's pretty handy, that. Yeah, with the consequence that lining it up is not easy, because I've effectively put a flange onto it. I need to just file that off and make sure it's dead flat. We can do that. We can do that pretty easily with one of our watch files. So I'll sort that shortly. That feels good. I think we'll test that again and make sure I'm happy with that. Well, I'm not happy with that. Look. It's just slightly off. Gosh, that's annoying, isn't it? See if I can line that up. Not only is it slightly off, but it's not quite as oh. So that's interesting. So it does the date at in one direction and the GMT hand in the other. The watch. I'm maybe just going to do that bit of filing job now. Okay, so in the end, I just filed the modified pusher for that. It's a bit hazy on that side of the screen, isn't it? I think it is just the way of the day. Might see if cleaning the lens on the iPhone that's filming this makes any difference. Could be that. But I've got it all lined up now, and then I'm going to put the face protector on and start putting another couple of hands on. Well, I just took the opportunity to clean the iPhone as well, and that does seem to have made a heck of a difference, doesn't it? So here's a bit of a close-up of the face, which has now got a load of dirt on it, having messed about with it for a minute or two. But we'll take that off with Erotico. I might do that before I even put the protector on and sort the next bit out. So that's quite a lot cleaner, isn't it? Happy with that. The tolerance actually on the GMT hand is really quite tight. It's not the easiest to work with, so I do feel as if there's going to be a little bit of messing about. I've decided to go with the Rolexy hands. It is for me, so there we are. The question really is, do I need to just double check before I mess about with the hands? The 12 o'clock changeover date. So let me do that and I shall come back to you. Slightly annoyingly, obviously it was cock on, so that was a waste of time. There we go. So get this hour hand on. A few days. Pick you up. I love doing hands. They're so easy. I mean, and the hour hand is easy. So you can imagine what it's like with the, oh, you absolute pig. Oh, fucking Christ. Right. Right, there we go. I just need to change the head on the old pusher again because that one's now a little bit wide. So we'll get a slightly narrower version for popping the head on, popping the hour hand on. Then we're going to go slightly less again for. There's one dropping on the floor. That's always pleasing. So just line this one up to 12 o'clock. And look, I didn't even have a drink last night, so we just pop that on a bit. It's just on a little bit now. Make that slightly more difficult to push. He wants to go a nanometer that way. It's overdone. Oh, you bastard. That looks good. So we'll just push that down a bit. Hey, we've got an hour hand and it's lined up beautifully and it's not moving, so that's good. Right, onwards and upwards, we will have a go with the minute hand now. Try and do this, take the same approach. Yep, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Okay, so I'm just going to try and sort of not set it, but just give it a little bit of stiffness on the I think that's maybe just a little bit too wide for that. Oh, you little trickster. Just try not to swear too much. It's not very becoming, is it? Get on. Line that up with the hour hand. Apply a little pressure. No, it's not wanting to go on. Oh. We'll try marginally larger prodder. That sort of feels on-ish. Might just be that. Oh, there we go. Oh God, and it's in line. Wonders will never cease. Fucking brilliant. Right. Then we're going to have a go with the second hand, which is almost assured to be an absolute pain in the arse. I'm going to have one go, as I always do, on the camera just to see if I can ace it by accident. I reckon I've got fuck all chance of that, but there we go. I'll turn it that way up. I'll put it. Oh. Fucking things. It's not a bad light today for doing this, but they are just so tricky. I generally just need to have them a bit closer to my eye than here on the, it's just probably 30, it's probably a ruler length away from my eye, and that where it is, and that just makes the difference in me being able to see that going on or not. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to invest in a magnifying glass, you know, one of those ones that's got a bit of a light on it, and yeah, I'm going to take that away. I'm going to move it up to my eye, and I'm going to return to you once it's on. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever, and you're going to hear some choice language. So, we're on. Actually, it wasn't too traumatic. The protector is removed, and all I've got to do now is set this going, so you can see the movement in action. I'll leave it like that for a sec. Ah, well, there we are. So the question is what needs a tweak? Is it the second hand that needs a tweak, or is it the minute hand? So the minute hand and the hour hand look pretty close to each other. Be interesting to just keep watching that going round and see if that little tweak that I've given it there helps. Okay, so that's passing the minute hand, the back of the second hand where they've got another disc. See if that'll go past it this time. Question is the second hand a little bit bent? Might be a little bit bent down as I'm looking at it now, so we might just get another little ingress. Yeah, we have. So what I'll do is I'll just let it go past. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'll stop it. First, I'm going to get the cushion now. Yeah, it is. It's just very slightly crowned down, that second hand. So all I really need is another set of tweezers, and I'm just gonna give it a little bend up. See if that helps. See where it gets to on the way round. Okay, so we haven't affected the back of the second hand, which is good news. T minus 10 seconds and counting, and then we'll know whether a little bit of a bet. It looks, as I'm kind of looking at it eye levelly, and it looks as if it's going to go past. So there we go. Okay, that's good. What I'll do is I will, I'll just give it an unlock and a bit of a wind all the way around, so you can see the movement basically. See that the GMT hand is actually it's a 24 hand. So when you're buying bezels for this movement, the NH34, you want to be buying one with, where at the 11 it says 22 and not 11 basically. Boom. It's about the 8th, what is it today? Maybe the 10th of May. And then, you know, we'll just show the setting of the, oh, it just doesn't feel right, does it? You little bugger. I suppose actually it is just, it's not on the hour, is it? Let's see how that works out. Got a bit of movement in it, doesn't it? Got a bit of movement in it on the actual pinion. Not ideal, but there it is. Okay, so we're going to flip it over. I'm going to take the crown out, the temporary crown, and then we're going to put the actual crown in. Then we're going to measure it, then we're going to cut it, then we're going to file it, and then we're going to put it all together. Okay, job number one is taking the crown out, probably with my teeth. I just need my pair of tweezers that I use for that, which I'm just reaching over for. Because I've got the hands on, I can't just turn it over. The crown's got to be pushed all the way in to expose the lever. It's exactly the same as the other NH models. In as much as the release mechanism is a little lever, which is just there by the 3 o'clock. It's just there. Press down on that end of it. It lifts the lever up at the other end, which is what that holds the crown in. So I can put that down now, and I can offer the face up to the movement, or the case up to the movement, not the face. I'll slip my little friend, I'll just turn it upside down. Make any sense to slip my little friend under, does it? So we'll put that back down on there, and I'll just put the case in. we're going to do is put the crown in. Well, that was pretty good. I'm going to press the movement in now. What we're about to find out is whether the case is actually deep enough. Given this is a Rolex copy and we've got not a Rolex movement, but we've got this NH movement. There was a question mark as to whether the top of the pinions might hit the glass and force the second hand against the glass, stop it moving entirely. It looks pretty close, I have to say, but actually that makes the watch look quite nice. And it does look very nice. It looks very, very nice. Very pleased with the overall look and feel of that. So we'll turn it back over. We'll push the crown in all the way. Mustn't forget this. This is a little thing, a little ring just to help keep the movement in place. I'm gonna just gonna make sure that it's properly pressed in all the way. Yeah, seems good. Yeah, because I don't think the rim of the case is probably not going to go all the way down and sit on there. Yeah, so it could probably just do with that thing. And we'll drop this gasket in, we'll grease the gasket and we'll drop it in. It looks nice, doesn't it? I quite like the movement. That's moving freely, lovely. Okie dokie. Question is that, yeah, so the crown's in as screwed onto the stem as far as it possibly can be, so when we measure it, it'll be the correct distance. I'm going to press the lever down again to slot the crown back in. Let's say that. It's just slotted in now. Make sure it's in the winding position. Put that gasket there for the time being. Yeah, so it's in the winding position, that's good. All right. So, you can't see it, that's the problem. I wonder if you couldn't see any of that. Okay, so we've pushed the crown in all the way, and it's now a case of measuring it. It's obviously it's a waterproof crown, so you get that spring in it, which one has to be careful of when measuring. It'll also be quite surprising actually how much we'll take off this, because as you can see, it's quite a long shaft that goes into the crown, so we're going to end up taking quite a lot of. So I've just lined up by eye actually against that piece of the mechanism, because that's actually where the crown pushes down to. Which was probably a mistake, but what we're actually going to do is, I don't know if you can see this terribly well, but I've pushed it in, and then I'll pull the vernier calipers out, and that gives us well, just over 7 mil, and actually on the Comex that we did the other day, it was 7.5 mil, so that equates quite nicely. That'll tighten up quite nicely against the side of the face. So I'll flip it back over and remove again the crown. Good news is you can see it this time. I don't have to do it with my teeth. We'll take the stem, the crown off the stem, and then we will remove 7 millimeters and put the stem back in, and then put it back on. We're going to use these clippers to remove it, and we're just going to mark it with a bit of tape. But the first job is actually just to hold the stem and drop the crown into the back of the movement. That's what I like to do. I find that really pleases me. Right, so we'll get our calipers that are still set at 7, which is the amount that we need, and we'll get a bit of tape to mark the place where we're going to cut, where we're going to snip. Wonderful, wonderful. See, that can be a bit tricky. I'll do it with a bit of masking tape, not that silver tape. It's bloody tough stuff, that silver tape. I'll get some masking tape. Got some blue masking tape there, and I'll just try and line that up appropriately, and then we'll double check the distance. Oh, I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that indeed. If we can take it off there and file it down, put it back on the crown, I can't see that being a problem at all. It's just making sure that there's no blue showing through. Okay, you hear another ping as it goes off. That's great. God, it looks short. It looks really short. It was the same on the look, I mean, that's the remainder of the stem. It was the same with the Comex. So with the stem cut and a little bit of a file around the bottom, put a little bit of this on, just like a sort of stem glue. And then we've got the joy of just threading that on again. I'm just going to try and hold that in a pair of the old pliers, I guess. Make life a bit easier. Just got to try and get it on nice and straight. Oh, there it is. That's going on a treat now. And we can be quite robust about getting it in. That's him. Now I'm just going to take the excess. Take the excess of that stuff off. And then we're going to go back in. And that's it tightened up. So let's undo it. Okay. Oh. I'm not 100% delighted with that. I think it's kind of too short, really. Don't know how we've managed that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out and maybe just have another go at it. Okay, so having not really liked the shortness of the other stem, I've cut another one, and I've put another blob of sticky onto it, starting it off there. I'm going to hold it in the pliers to tighten it up. Funny actually, because that doesn't really feel as if that stem has gone into the crown as far as the other ones. I bet this one's going to end up being, you know, far too long. That'd be really annoying. Oh, that's just absolutely perfect. Yep, so we'd obviously cut that other one a bit short. That's that is absolutely lovely. Very, very delighted with that. It's quite a hot day, so that, which is my grease for the gasket, is quite warm. So I've got a couple of little jobs. I've obviously got to put the back on. I need to pop that in there. I need to pop the gasket on. So I think we'll do it in kind of that order. This is just a ring to ensure that the back presses against the plastic surround of the movement. The gasket's now greased. I'll just sit it in the appropriate slot. And then we'll put the back on. Once closing with a ball, tightening with a ball. But we are where we are. I can get that on pretty tight with my own hands. That'll press the face up against the chaptering beautifully. And that does look, oh, looks really gorgeous, doesn't it? Oh, I'm very pleased with that. So it's about an appropriate strap, really. So I have a military sort of Bondy type one with a line through it that is as near as damn it matches up to the second hand. Yeah, I've got a Milanese, which could look quite cool on this watch. Maybe. That's a maybe. And then I've got a couple of options in terms of rubber diver straps. I'm quite liking this one, which I'm going to show you if I can get it out of the packet. Which I'm opening now, and that is, it's probably just the wrong colour, but which is a shame. But it's a you know, it's a camo strap. No, I don't like it. It'd want a fleck of orange in it, really, wouldn't it? I don't think that quite works with that. So I think we'll just probably go with the military strap. And I'll take it out and I'll stick it on now and we'll see what it looks like. Take it out its little bag. Just undoing it, ready. So pop him in there. Slot him right down. Oh, stupid boy. Pop that through there. Pop that through there, and then we'll square the face up into the centre of the sort of two lugs, like that. Wow. Well, I don't think that looks awful at all. So I'm going to take there we go. I'm going to take a couple of photographs of that as it sits, and then on my wrist, and we'll stick those at the end of the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.